Good morning, everybody. Nobody. Whoever sees this later. I know this is like gonna be timeless because YouTube is timeless. Gotta love the timelessness of YouTube, right? Uh-oh, Archie Designs in the chat. Can you hear me well? Is the background music distracting? Is the background music heard at all? I just wanted to make sure that there was a solid balance between me and the background music. Cool. Um, Lastly, I really wanted to do this, but I'm in the middle of washing clothes and I'm having stomach aches. So if I just so happen to hit this screen right here, just give me a brief moment because I'm finna, you know what I'm saying. Anywho, um, today I wanted to talk to you all about an app. Little low. Nothing is helping. Okay, a little low. I wonder if I can boost that on my end. Advanced audio properties, built-in webcam, mic aux, volume. Does this help? I am boosting it ever so slightly. Did this help whatsoever? I just boosted it on the platform. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you all about an app, a cell phone app. It's also a website. It's called Oolimo. Hopefully, that's what it's called. And as I am looking it up, I wanted to show you what it looks like. And it looks like this. I wish I could. I guess I can zoom in. Is this one the middle one where it says open, not where it says get, and it doesn't have any photos or anything? I guess I can click on it. I kind of like this app. I've tested it as the website version, but I never really got the app until a couple days ago. I have a potential student who is asking for some resources, and I offered them some resources. So I figured that this app will be a great app to talk about different resources with because I use it mostly for a chord finder. They have this chord finder feature in where you can like tap on frets and it'll tell you what chords that you're playing. But I recently discovered that it had a quiz feature built in. And at that point, I realized, okay, yeah, this quiz feature is going to be it for me because now I'm going to challenge myself on what do I know. Um, so as you see on the app, I'm going to talk about the buttons at the bottom first. So obviously there's a help button. You can press it and it'll talk about all the things. If you press the Oolimo logo at the top right, it'll take you back to the top every single time. They got this brightness, darkness on the far right at the bottom. Sound on and off if you need it. English or Dutch, which is cool. Right hand or left hand for guitarists. I have left-handed students, so I guess that's beneficial for them. I'm trying not to zoom in too much on the app because I don't want things to be cut off. But for today's purposes, I'm going to talk about the chord quiz. So, I told you earlier about the chord finder. You can tap literal. Oh, no. On this version of the chord finder, you can actually just click on what chords you want to play. So if I press the search button at the bottom right, is it cutting things off? Or is this? Let me zoom back out. I'm sorry, you all. Zooming back out. I don't want anything to be cut off of the screen. I think this is good. If you press, as I press the button at the bottom right, now you see it has all of the notes. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, or whatever. And I can click on the chord. It'll show me all of the different options. It has must know right here, the first four. So this is F in its E shape. This is F in its C shape. This is F in its A shape. And this is F in its G shape. You got to know your caged chords. So those are the most known. But then they have the movable chords, which is good to know because you got to know which ones you could use. And all of these are movable. And then they have the chords with the capo, which is very interesting. They have the notes, or they also have the numbers, which is the intervals, arpeggios, which you can see all of the notes in regards to the chord. It's very beneficial. Like, this is great. And you can press next and previous on the arrows, and it'll just go to the next chord. You can also press play, and it'll play the chord for you. It is playing on the screen mirror. That's so cool. Nevertheless, the biggest thing that I liked about this app, outside of the chord finder, was a chord analyzer. You could type in, like I'm tapping on the fifth fret all the way down, and it'll tell you what chord you're pressing. So I literally just tapped up an A minor chord, and it told me that this is an A minor chord. Or it could also be a G sus6 chord. Or it could also be a C over A, and it'll show you the root notes in green and things of that nature. There's so many features. But outside of the features, I wanted to show you all the chord quiz and challenge myself on chord quizzes. So the first quiz at the top is the interval quiz. And I know it's like 1 o'clock in the morning for anybody that is watching this, but you're gonna hear me dork out about music theory. And I'm probably gonna get 100. I'm banking on getting 100 for this interval. Not even for the interval, but for all of these quizzes. It has a whole bunch of sections. Let me read them off. Intervals, basic major chords, major and minor chords, complementary intervals, sus4 and sus2 chords, triads, slash chords, minor seventh chords, diatonic chords, dominant seventh chords, dominant seventh and minor seventh chords, dominant seventh and major seventh chords, dominant seventh, minor seventh, and major seventh chords. That's this one. Diminished and half diminished. Oop, didn't mean to click on it. 6, 6, 9, and add 9 chords. 9, minor 9, and major 9 chords. 9, 11, 13, sus 9, and sus 13 chords. Altered chords, mixed chord extensions, and substitutions. So a few of these, especially as we started getting to the bottom, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'll get 100 on those. But for the first few, like, I know my intervals. I know my basic major chords. So we're going to see how the quizzes look, and we're just going to go from there. Hopefully y'all are able to read this. I wish I could see a full screen view. I don't know how to yeah, y'all can see this. As I just did a full screen view on my own device. I realized I'm looking a little dusty for 1 in the morning. Anyway, though, the instructions say restore the correct positions of the fretboard diagrams. So they give me a major third, a minor third, and a fifth on the left side. And it has it written in the staff. And then it also has the diagrams on the right side of a major third, a minor third, and a fifth. And all I have to, I'm assuming I just match them up. So, yep, that is the fifth. I'm not able to press the results button at the bottom right until I answer all the questions. I'm assuming, do I swipe? Nope, I tap the gray boxes to go to the next question. They're asking for an octave. I know my octaves. The way how I look at my octaves are up 2 over 2. I know my fifth and I know my fourth. The guitar is built on fourths, so any two, how do I put it? Any two intervals stacked on top of each other, or any two strings, that's a fourth. A fifth, power chords, and an octave, up 2, over 2. So the E string, over 2. Or as the one that they recommend, they said a C, the third fret of A, up 2, over 2. That's an octave. So I'm in business. On to the next one. And I don't have to play it in order to figure this out. This is just things that I know. But if you are interested in trying to figure these things out, let me know in the comments. If there's anything music theory related, guitar theory related, let me know in the comments and I probably got you. More than likely. The root tone. Oh, the squared tone is the root. Drag its fourth to the fifth. So the squared tone is on the A string. That's the root. It's a C. Drag it to the fifth, which is over 2 frets because it was on the fourth. It said drag it to the fifth. If I dragged it 1 fret, it would have been a tritone. Drag it 1 more fret. That would have been a fifth. Cool. Next question. The guitar is there's a typo in the quiz. The guitar is tuned in fourth, with one exception. The interval between G and B is a major third. Because if I was looking at the notes or the intervals, I just know my intervals. We'll talk about that in a later video if you have any questions. I'm just going to get through answering all of these. It's 1 in the morning. I'm pretty sure people aren't interested in hearing about theory at this very moment. If you do watch this live stream and you see that I know these questions or I know these answers to the questions and you got questions about it, leave a comment down below. I'm going to make sure I leave the live up for a good amount of time. So, intervals between G and B string. Restore the correct positions to the fretboard diagram. Ooh, now they're trying to get me. The bottom one is already a fifth, and I could just switch those over. You can clearly see which one is higher and which one's lower, right? Minor third, perfect fourth, and a fifth. Like the minor third is the smallest interval, so it's going to be the ones that's the furthest left. Moving on. The squared tone is the root. Drag its fifth to the major third. The B string and the G string is already a third apart. Place an octave over the given tone on the B string. They're playing an F, and they told me they're playing an F. Now I gotta find an F on the B string. Usually it's up 2 over 2. I thought I saw some movement outside my window. But the lights ain't on. I got automatic lights outside, so I got a little nervous. But that don't make sense, right? Usually it's up 2 over 2. Ain't no up 2 over 2 for the G string to B string because that's built in thirds instead of fourths. So it's up 2 over 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep. And the last question. Place an octave on the G string. That is C up 2 over 2. Up, it doesn't even let me, yep, up 1, up 1. So that's up 2 over 1 over 2. That's how that works, just in case you have any questions about it. And the results logo is now spinning. Clicks on the results. 100%. That's how you do it. Next quiz. It automatically gives me the next quiz, so I'm a fan. Do I know my chords? C chord is at the top. That is not an A chord, that's a G chord. That is the correct answers. You should know your caged chords like C, A, G, E, and D. If you don't know no chords, know those. Because if you don't know any chords, know those. Because those are the primary chords that you should be learning. Ooh, and you should also know the chord intervals. One thing that I like to do is transfer of learning. I already told y'all about up 2 over 3 for the D string to B string. So that lets you know if you got the root on the D string, if you go up 2 over 3, that is the root. And there's your perfect fifth, which leaves your third. Oh, I skipped a question. You're just playing the root tone in the fifth. What chord do you call that? That's a rock chord. Yeah. Now it's called a power chord. Which one of these 3 chords is an E major chord? Boom, the one in the middle. Which one of these 3 chords is an A major chord? Boom, the one at the top. Root, third. Did they put this in order for me? Fifth. Nope. Root, third. The root is C, the third is E, and the fifth is G. G string, fifth. E string, third. Easy to figure that out. Second fret of D, you got D, D sharp, E. So, or D, D sharp, E. Second fret is E. And then the first fret of B, B to C. So, back to the root. Where are we at? E, 5, 1. Major third, because that's how you, if you lower that note, it becomes minor. Obviously the E string and the fifth. Simple enough, right? These are pretty simple. 1, 5, 1, because that is the octave. 3, because if you lower that, it becomes minor. And then the 5 at the top, because E is the 5 of A. Checks my results, and I am good. Anyway, C, E, G, C, E. You should know your notes on the fretboard. This is major and minor chords quiz, so I'm good on that. Which chord is here? Is this A major or A minor? E major or E minor? Well, the root note is the root note is A. And the E string has an X, so that means we ain't playing that string. So it's got to be A. It's either major or minor. How can I make E minor? They're saying E to E minor. Change this E major chord to E minor. You can drag one of the tones. That's cool. Dragged. Boom. Restore the correct positions of the fretboard diagrams. That is a C already at the top. That is not an A. That's a D minor. I'm good on that front. What chord is this? That's a G chord. It might be missing the B string, but it's still G. G, B. I was nervous that it could have been G minor since that's an option. But because the B string is covering B, then it's still G major. D chord. How do I change D minor to D major? The third is in the E string. That third would have been F sharp if it was D major. It was currently at F, so I just dragged it up. D minor, D, F. Dad, F. My head all itchy. Last question. I'm trying to adjust myself in this reflection, and I keep forgetting it's backwards. So anything that I'm doing, I'm messing myself up because I'm making it worse than what it is. Not reflection, but looking at myself in this on the stream. Anyway, though, G major chord in its E shape, E major chord, F major chord in its E shape. All of these are E shapes. Results, 100%, because I do this. Speeding through the next quiz. The next quiz is complementary intervals. If you don't know what complementary intervals is, that means like a 1 and an octave is the same thing, right? 1 is an octave. C is C. If you go from C to D, that is a second apart. If you go from C to B, that is also a second apart, but it's considered a minor second because it's a half step apart. I'm going from C down a half step to B. That's a minor second. Or if I went C all the way up to B, that would have been a major seventh. So those are complementary intervals. You just have to figure out how it works backwards. So 2 and 7, 3 and 6, 4 and 5, which is why they're both perfect. And dead smack in the middle is a tritone. Let's talk about it. The squared tone is the root of C. The squared tone is the root C. The round tone is the major third. How big is the distance from the root down to its third? Minor 6. Move the round tone to the position where it represents the major third of the root squared. Oh, the root is squared. When they say root squared, I'm like, what is this? Math? I'm not good with math. I'm not going to think about it. But move the round tone to the position where it represents the major third of the root. If the root is C, that means the major third would be E. So I have to find E on the D string, which is over 2 tones. Another way of looking at this is you just have to find a minor 6 away from that note. Or it should be the distance of a minor 6, and that's the distance of a minor 6. If you knew your minor scales or your minor pentatonic, that's right there. Several intervals are seen from the distance of the root D, which is squared. And all of these are complementary, so this is kind of confusing, but that's cool. So if I'm looking for the fifth from D, I would be looking for, is that the, how about I just read the standard notation? Every, I'm looking for A to D. So I need A, which is the second fret of G. Yep. I need F sharp to D. F sharp can be found it's not the fifth fret of G. It is the fourth fret of D. Because you have D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp. Fourth fret of D is F sharp. And then a minor seventh, technically. Just reading standard notation and not even thinking about this too much because I can think about this. It can get very daunting. So just reading standard notation, that is a C to a D. The fifth fret of G is C. I know that because I know all my fifth frets. That's a fretboard marker. You should know your fretboard markers. It's good to know those. So I'm pretty sure this one's right. Complementary intervals, I'm gonna get a 100. I know I'm gonna get a 100, but these starting to slow me down, y'all. These starting to slow me down. I'm looking for a fifth. This is easier to read. Oh, several intervals seen from the roots G. Together they form a G7. That's close. I shouldn't look at it like that. If it's complementary, then everything is backwards. So let's think about it. Or I could just read it. That note is D at the top. The one that is a fifth, they have D and G. So if I'm looking for D on the guitar, that can be found a multitude of places. But as I see it on the fretboard, D is the third fret of B. B, C, C sharp, D. Then where we got major third. I'm just going to read. These complementary intervals, I have to review this so that I could properly understand it in the way that this app is asking, because I've never really talked about complementary intervals in the way that this app asks for it, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. So let me just read. Every good boy, I'm looking for a B. That is the fourth fret of G, so that's already in place. And then F, which is the third fret of D. That's already in place. Next question. The major third B is located a minor six below the root G. Change it to a minor third so that it forms a major six instead of the. Okay. The major third B is located a minor six below the root note G. That is a B. Change it to a minor third that it forms a major six to the root. Okay. If it's already a major third and I'm making it a minor third, I just lower it. And is this also a major six to the root? The note that I just changed it to is a C. Not a C, I'm sorry. An A sharp. An A sharp is also known as a B flat, which is a minor third from G. This is also a major six to the root because B flat major scale is B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, which is a major six. That is the diatonic scale. What is complementary interval of major third? Complementary interval of a major third is a minor six. I'm just going to look for it. The interval that adds up to an octave with a major third, a minor six. Adds up to an octave. Interesting way of looking at that. The other intervals are named as a third, minor third, diminished third, augmented. I ain't never heard of that before. The second interval that is needed to form a major triad, which is a minor third. Nah. They confusing their theories, trying to trip me up. I don't get tripped up easily. You know what I'm saying? Here, 2 times the root is squared. The second one is an octave higher. The fifth is in between. You can easily see the complementary interval of a fifth is a fourth because a guitar is built on fourths, and those two strings being stacked on top of each other is a fourth. So a fifth is a fourth. I told you about that before we started this quiz. Tritones in the middle. I also told you about that before we started the quiz. But let me read the question just to make sure. How do you call the interval that is exactly half the size of an octave and therefore, yep. Results. Ooh, 100%. I do this. I'm about to go get some water. I went to go get some water, and I also noticed that my clothes that's in the wash is finished washing, so I am going to handle that too. Enjoy the sounds of some good Paul No music.
I don't wanna do what I feel is not for me. I might act, but can't you see? I'm clearly fighting feelings. My energy can't kick it, please. Doing nothing is such a relief. I'm overwhelmed and it's giving me grief. My energy can't kick it, please. Doing nothing is such a relief.
like when I'm high, and this just goes for me because I can never be you and you could never be me, but I believe when I'm high, I, I'm on my own cloud, high key on a different speed, relaxation on a whole nother level, like the weed was my escalator. Better yet, when I'm high, cloud nine type of metaphor, above ground, surround your own sound, and all I can hear is myself talk when I'm high. The music liberation, escaping to a place, and here I am, back on my thoughts.
All right, you all. I just put the very last load in the washer. So that means I also got to put it in the dryer. So if I do have to get up again later on. Hopefully this live stream don't even last that long to that point. But there's a lot of quizzes. Which quiz did I just end? Let's check. Complementary intervals. That's the fourth quiz out of... This might be a long live stream. If I do all of them, I might get too tired, or if I get less than 100, I might just quit. But 4 of them so far, and I got nothing but hundreds. I think I'm doing great, and I'm finna turn on this heater. So, uno momento. The heat is on, as Firestorm likes to say. I'm pretty sure y'all don't get that reference. I'm pretty sure I'm talking to myself. Do I got this on backwards? Yes, I do. As soon as I did that, the sound of the microphone just got like a whole bunch of white noise in the background. So I'm going to turn the music up ever so slightly. I waterfall all my water. Stop judging me. Anyway. Restore the correct positions to the fretboard. We're talking about sus2 and sus4 chords now. This is easy. I always just look for the first chord. D major. Switch that. Switch that. If you know where the third is, you usually replace the third with a second or a fourth. So that makes it easier to find where the suspended chords are. So first things first, I always like to find the major chord and put the major chord where it's supposed to be. I realized I just put everything out of order when I did that. Cool. Third question. Make this. The third is on the E string because that is F sharp. I just put F sharp with G, which is the fourth note of D major scale. Root. Fifth. Root. Just like my power chord. This is the 2. The third would have usually been on the second fret of B. And boom, 5th. To make this a sus4, I would shift over the third. The third is on the G string. That is my E shape, just like how your E chords look. E sus4, I just said that. There goes the 4. There goes the 5. There goes the 5. There goes the 1. There goes the 1. I bet that's a lot of dissonance, the 4 and the 5 on top of each other. Never heard it alone in this context. C sus4. This is my A shape, so the sus4 would be on the B string. The third is replaced by the fourth, is what that means. The fourth is added to the chord tones. The fourth must be sustained. No, the third is replaced by the fourth. And 100% me. Boom, I do this. I do this. Oh, now they're trying to give me triads. 3 times C major has triad. Thanks for that description. I'm just going to look at it in comparison to the staff, the standard music notation. This is C major in root position. This is C major open. So they got C, G, and then E. And then they got G being the lowest note, not the root, but the bass note, which is the 5th fret of D, which is also known as G. So I'm trusting that one's right. C major, that's in its A shape, even though it's just a triad. But I know it from my A shape, because if I were to play the full thing, this note would be there and this note would be there. Y'all don't even see me tapping. The 3rd fret of A and the 5th fret of D would be there. So because that's my A shape, I know the 3rd is on the B string. I can lower that down to C minor. This is also the A shape, and they want me to lower it again, which is still the B string. Both of these, I wish I can go back. Both of these are the same thing. Like 2 sides of the same coin. Cool. I just know my notes, so I don't even want to even read the description. That's C, that's G, and that's E flat. 4th fret of B is E flat because the 5th fret is E. Root position, D minor, A. I just know the 2nd fret of G is A, so I really should slow down and read just so I make sure I'm doing this right. But I know the 2nd fret of G is A, the 3rd fret of B is D, and then F, which is how it is written. And then the 1st fret of E up to over 2, which is the same thing as the 3rd fret of D is F. So that's F, A, D. And I am good. Ooh, they're trying to get me. This is E. The minor 3rd would be G, which is right there. I said this is E already. E is the 5th fret of B, which just leaves process of elimination, the 5th being the 4th fret of G. The 4th fret of G is also B. And if I'm looking for E minor, that is E, G, B. So I'm good on that front. Change this to G minor. That is, oh, G minor to G major. I was going to say that's already G minor. I know that for my E shape. So I just took that up, made it E major, also known as G major for this because it's in my E shape. Select the root of this triad. Do I know where D flat is? Well, D flat is also known as C sharp. So I'm looking at B, C, C sharp. Boom. There goes the root. Give me that 100. I do this. This is what's being done. Even in the wee moments of the night. What time is it really? Does it show me the time? I'm showing people's phone numbers. Sorry for whoever. I'm gonna try to trim that out. I need a watch or something. Or I just need to look at the time from my computer. The time is 2:30, 2:25 to be specific. Okay. C major. Pushing that around. C minor. A flat over C. That would have been A flat in its E shape had the root note been on the 4th fret of E, and that would have been an E shape chord. But the C is the bass, so that is A flat major over C. Slash chords. Gotta love slash chords. So usually slash chords mean the original triad over the bass. So in this case, it says which one is D over F sharp. So they're looking for a D chord over F sharp. All of these have F sharp in the bass because F sharp is the 2nd fret of E. So the next step is to figure out how do I play a D chord Well, these are a little bit confusing, but if you know your chord shapes, you're good. D chord is not the bottom one. That is an A shape. And if I were to take A shape up 2 frets, that would have been a B, as in boy, chord. If I know my E shape, that's what the middle one is, which would have been a G chord, which just leaves process of elimination. Even if I only knew my E shape triads and my A shape triads, I would have been good just to know that much and figure out that the bottom two are not a D major triad. Another factor to know though is your C shaped triads and your G shaped triads. D is already included in your C shaped triad, so you don't really gotta learn duh in the cage duh chords. You could just learn cage. So, but because I do know my C shaped triads, easier to play it. Because I do know my C shaped triads, right now it's showing me if I were to put my pinky down. Sorry, music. If I were to put my pinky down, that's my C shaped triad. Get rid of my index finger, slide it all the way down. There goes C right there. Oop. Take it up a half step. C sharp, take it up another half step. D. So there goes D major chord over F sharp. I'm trying to click it on the computer like it's on the computer. It's on my cell phone. Boom. I didn't need the guitar to figure that out. I did it to show y'all what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Because I know these things. As I told you before, this is a G chord, but B is in the bass. I know this is a G chord for my E-shaped triads. G, B, D. Boom. That's my C shape. I recognize C shape whenever I see it now because I just talked about it. So that means this note at the top is C. Top meaning the highest pitch note, the B string. Not C, but whenever I see this weird looking shape, I just imagine my pinky is down on the A string, and that's my C shape right there. So that would be a D sharp chord. D sharp is also known as E flat. So that leaves the bottom two as my options. E flat over G. Yep. Restore these to the correct diagram. All of these have A in the bass, as I can see on the staff. The next step is to figure out what chord is being chorded. So I got a G chord over A. I just recognize that one. Off rip G chord for my E shape. I know my E shapes very quickly. I also know my A shapes very quickly. So that is a 5th fret D over A. And this would be an F over A because my pinky would have been on the 8th fret. Ooh, you can swipe. So when you can swipe. I tried to swipe earlier. Maybe I was doing something else. Let me double check my answers just in case they didn't change it. 5 is A, G, yep, D, yep. Swiping. Cool. In this chord progression, G, F sharp, E minor, the F sharp chord is often replaced by slash chords. Don't help you with that, but it could. F sharp over D, no. D over F sharp. I said that backwards. Yes, because usually it goes 1, 5, 6. But they use the 7 to make it seem like it's going lower. This is a conundrum. Y'all got me thinking. Okay. This could be the C chord in its A shape over D. I feel like that makes the most sense. It's not over a G and it's not over a C, so that just leaves E chord and C chord because D is in the bass. So boom. G, F, A, C. This is an F chord over. Results. 100% I do this. 100%. Doesn't matter the time of day. Minor seventh chords. What? Which method is not a way to add a seventh to a chord? Going 3 frets up from a fifth. Going 2 frets down from the root note. Going 2 frets down from a fifth. Going 2 frets down from a fifth to going to a fourth. That ain't adding a seventh. So let's just click on that one. Because I ain't never heard these methods before, but these are concepts. Obviously, this is A major. That's A minor. And that's A minor seventh. Which of these 3 chords is not an E minor 7? E, dominant 7 right there. You just got to nigga. I know my 7th chord shape, so this isn't a challenge. I don't know how this is E minor 7th though in the middle, but let's think it through. I have E, A, nothing on the D string, G, D is in dog, which is my minor 7th right there. I've never played that shape for an E minor 7th chord, or have I? Not that I recognize, not just by looking at it on the chord chart. That's fine though. Root D, obviously. 5, obviously. I told y'all the 3rd is on the B string. I mean, it's on the E string. So boom. How can I make C minor into C minor 7th? Taking the octave down 2 frets. That's how they explained it in the first. Taking the root down 2 frets. That's how they explained it in the first one. That's a concept. Adding a second 7th. Move the 5th of the B string. Is that what I was just looking at on this one? Because technically D is the 7th. And they said adding a second 7th. The only difference between this one though, I'm sorry for going back and forth. This is an E shape. The 7th would have been on the D string. Because a D is the 7th of E. So now I'm looking at the same thing. The 7th is on the D string. That note is F. Now that I'm trying to add F to the B string. I know the 5th fret is E, so the 6th fret is F. What interval is missing here for a C minor 7? You got C, E flat, B flat. That's 1, minor 3rd, minor 7th. Then another C. So it's missing the 5th. Here we are. 1, 5, obviously. I know that octave shape. 7. 1, 5, 7. Minor 3rd. And the results are in 100%. Here's the challenge when it comes to this. It's getting later and my brain is moving slower. The questions are getting slightly more challenging. Diatonic chords. Which one of the 3 major chords is not a diatonic chord? Diatonic triad of the C majors. Well, when it comes to diatonic chords, the 3 would be minor. Which one of these chords is not diatonic chord of C major scale? Consists of only chord tones of C major scale. A full diminished. Right? It'd be a half diminished. Minor 7 flat 5. That's B, D, F, A natural. Not A flat or G sharp as it's written on this one. Cool. Right diatonic chords of the major scale. You got major, minor, minor, major, dominant, minor, half diminished. It's at the top. What these other ones say? Major, minor, major. Nope. Major, minor, minor, major, dominant. That's full diminished. It's not full diminished. This is a B diminished chord. Select the tone that doesn't belong. Cool. We can find the minor seventh chords of the following scale degrees of a major scale. Major, minor, minor, second, third, and sixth. E minor is not diatonic to E minor is in C major scale. E minor is in D major scale. Is E minor in G major scale? E minor is not an A major scale. Diatonic chords are chords of the same chord type, those whose root notes belong to a particular major scale. Nope. Diatonic chords are the chords you get by stacking thirds over every tone. That sounds right. Sorry for that yawn. And I know I shook my head crazily. I was trying to wake up. G major 7 is a diatonic chord of the root. It's not C. That would have been dominant. D does have a major 7. F, G would be minor. B flat, G would be minor. What? I didn't get 100%. I'm quitting. What did I press? Which one of these chords is a diatonic chord to the key of C? Minor 7 flat 5. What did I put? Did I read that as if it's not diatonic? Y'all heard me, right? I'm finna have to rewatch this just to make sure I want to do this quiz again. How do I do this quiz again? I just did diatonic chords. That leaves me with, I can at least go halfway. Where I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm on 9. I just finished 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I got one more left. Out of the 9 quizzes, the 9 easier quizzes, I only got one wrong so far. I got one more left. I'll do dominant. Am I doing this right? Diatonic is what I just finished. Okay. Let me lock in, y'all. I just got one wrong. This is a sign that I need to quit. A major, A dominant, A minor. Boom. D major. We're looking for dominant chords. D minor, D dominant. Dominant chords are a little tricky, y'all. They're trying to get me to recognize chords on the D string, like D string. Are these D string roots? The root does not always have to be the lowest tone. So these aren't even D string roots. Now I gotta use my brain. What time is it? It's 2:41 in the morning. They're trying to get me to use my brain. Okay. Okay. Oh, they gave me a staff. I guess I could read, huh? The lowest note should be F. Am I cheating when I do this? That's an F sharp, so that's wrong. The lowest note should be F. Boom. The lowest note is also F. Boom. I don't know if either of those are right. Then the lowest note is F sharp. Now let me double check the other one. The highest note is G. So switch these two. Highest note is A flat. I just read. Sometimes it's good to know how to read the staff too, because you could cheat in moments like this. I feel like I'm taking theory and I'm not really processing. I'm just making things make sense. Anyway though, next question. Move the tone on the D string to the 7th to change F major to F. On the D string, boom. If you just knew your dominant shapes, that'd be easier. C on the G string, that's a dominant shape. A dominant 7th chord consists of the root 1, major 3rd, 5, and minor 7th. Arrange the intervals correctly. This is light work. because I already know 1513 from the original shape. The one would have been right there, but I just, you know what I'm saying, shifted it down 2 threads. It shouldn't say 7. It should say flat 7 in my opinion, or M7. Developers of Oolimo. That is 1. That is 1. E is 3. E is 3. And 7 is right there. 1 would have been right there because I know my octave shapes. That's the major 7. There's the minor 7. See, they got me locking in. Part of me want to keep going because I got one wrong. How many I just did? 100%. I do this. This is what I do. Because I get one wrong last time. One wrong, one strong. Am I going to keep going, y'all? Let me see how much time is still in the washer. That'll let me know, because if I get too comfortable, I might have mildewed clothes. Enjoy the song, so Paul, till I get back. I got 30 minutes left on the washer. I might as well keep going. Which ones did I just finish? Substitutions. I just did dominant chords. 5, 7, and minor 7. These are great. I'm sorry. Takes a moment to look at all of these quizzes. They got each chord individually, like minor 7th. Obviously, they already did major chords, so they didn't do major 7 chords. They don't have major 7 individually. But those are pretty common to understand. But the fact that they're doing dominant versus minor, or and minor, and dominant and major, dominant minor and major, like, that's pretty great. Like, sometimes these chords can get very confusing. You think you're looking at one chord, or you think you're playing one chord, but you're doing a whole different one. So I like the fact that they have both of them, just to make it seem like you're differentiating, or you're understanding the similarities of both. And these are quizzes too, so, and they're relating it back to the tonic, or not to the tonic, to the basic major chord, which let me hide that piece of hair. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm looking for, oh, they don't have the major chord on here. They just got minor. But I know my minor chord. That's dominant 7. That's minor 7. Perfect. I guess that's good to have minor too. I know my minor chord. Dominant 7, minor 7. I know my minor chord. Minor, that's dominant 7. Minor 7. Wait a minute. I had to take a beat before I got one wrong again. I don't got time to get one wrong. Change this A7 to an A. Minor 7. I don't know why I made that face. I just had to take a moment to process, and I got confused. Minor 7 to dominant. When I first was learning guitar, I was learning shapes. So a lot of this is easy to me because this is nothing but shapes. I did that wrong. G. As soon as I get to talking, I say this easy and I'm pressing the wrong buttons. But you see, I didn't press submit though. Look at that one more time. C, G, B flat, E flat. Yeah, cool. Which interval is represented by the round tone? That's a minor seventh. You're spreading the notes out too much for me. That would have been a third because 1513, that's a minor third. Boom. 100%. That's my major shape, major seventh. Okay, we on dominant chords and major sevenths. I love major sevenths. Easier to recognize. G major 7 is the one at the top. That's a dominant. That's just a major. How do I make this into a major 7th? You lower the octave. This is 1, 5, 1, 3, major 7. I never viewed these as a major 7. I would have viewed that as a G minor 7. I mean, G minor 9. But I guess that is a major 7, huh? The more you know. Because that's one away from the root. Change this major 7 to a dominant 7, which also makes sense. That was the same dominant shape that we seen in the previous quiz. Quizzes like these open up your mind, connect the dots. Because now I'm going to use this some way, somehow in the future, whenever I figure out how to. Major 7 at the top. $100%. I do this all day long. Do, 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 do. Restore the correct positions. Now y'all got different types of chords. Y'all trying to trip me up. I ain't going for it. These aren't root position, are they? Oh, that is F. All of these are F. Oh, that's F and that's F. But a F is an NC minor 7. They're trying to get me to use my brain. I'm gonna move that down because I know a F ain't NC minor 7. And a G. Okay. That is my minor 7 shape. I know my minor 7 shape. I know that one. So I know that's F minor 7. I'm just gonna switch these back. Why did I do that? I don't know. I don't feel like using my brain. Okay, let me think this through. The notes that I'm looking at are G, C, E flat. Yeah, that makes sense. And the notes that I'm looking at are F, a fifth above that, minor third above that. No, that's a second. That's a second above that. Yeah, I just have to look at the intervals and the staff because I don't even feel like dealing with this. What is this? Dominant 7th, minor 7th, and major 7th? This quiz is the most needed quiz. And this is the one that just slowed me up as soon as I opened it. Where we at? 1, 5, major 7, 3, 5. What shape is this? This is where you mess up when you only learn shapes. Like I've never seen this a day in my life. Now I gotta break down the notes and make this make sense. Obviously, this is a D chord because they're pushing D. D. I see the 1 and the 5. That is a C sharp. It's not a C sharp. That's a C. So I would say this is a D dominant. Then an F sharp. Yep, because it has a major third. D dominant. D7. F sharp. F. Let's make it minor. They got me thinking, y'all. They got me thinking. Find the root. B flat. Easy peasy. That's not it. G. G sharp. A. A sharp. I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't get 100 on this one. I don't even feel like trying to figure this one out. Ugh. Okay. Processes. D. Is a D in A major 7? No, it's A C sharp. Part of me just wants to click that one. But they got another D. No, that's A. And that's E. Let me continue though. D. Upper fifth is G. No, upper fifth is A. I'm just trusting my gut because I'm lazy. I don't feel like doing this anymore. G minor. Usually the easiest way to change a minor to a dominant is to raise the third. Where is the third, might you ask? Right there. Because the root would have been the 3rd fret of E, but it's not there. It's written on the 5th fret of D. Whatever. See? I knew I got one incorrect. Which one did I get wrong? I wish they told me what I put. The root doesn't know. I said this is a D7 because I thought it was F natural. No, F natural would have made it minor. It's the C sharp major 7. Did I think that was C? Yes. If that was C, I knew I got one wrong. See, that's on me. It's alright. Diminished and half diminished is gonna kick my tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more quizzes. I think I'm gonna stop on this one. And even if the clothes get left in the wash, yeah, it is what it is. What is a half diminished chord? That's a triad. There is no half diminished triad. Ugh. Half diminished, full diminished, minor. Let me look at that again. Full diminished, half diminished, minor. Two of the following statements are right, which are wrong. C diminished chord has the same chord tones as E flat diminished chord. Yep. All chord tones of C diminished chord are part of D flat major scale. I ain't never heard about it like that. Now I want to write it out. A diminished chord consists of no other intervals other than a stack of minor thirds. So I know the first two are right. I mean, the top and bottom one are right. To a half diminished. I just know my shapes. Which one of these chords is a half diminished chord? These spread triads are going to be the death of me, but I should probably not spread triads, but spread chords. But if I looked at it as spread triads, and they gave me the roots too. So I see a minor 7 shape off rip. And usually half diminished or minor 7s, not full diminished. Or minor 7th shapes. C, G flat. Crap. C, G flat. You should just look at note names. You know your note names. How do I make this a full diminished? I know my shapes. Add a flat 5, so they give a root tone. Boom. Do it. I need to do it multiple times. 100%. Okay. I don't know about 6, 9, and add 9 chords. Part of me wants to take the quiz and challenge myself. Part of me knows that I'm not too knowledgeable on these. Yeah, these last six quizzes. But I guess that would make me a better musician if I challenge myself to do it. I'm gonna hold off on that. Anyway, though, if y'all have stuck through to watch this live stream for the full hour and 13 minutes that it has been running, hour and 14 minutes that it's been running, y'all are real nerds for caring about this music theory thing. And that's okay, because I'm a real nerd too, because I've been doing this guitar music theory thing since like 1 in the morning, and it's 3 in the morning now. 1:30 in the morning, that is. Might as well have been. And I'm live streaming it, which lets you know that this is serious to me. But oftentimes I find myself bored with social media, so I end up deleting all the social media from my phone, and all I have are these theory apps like Tenuto, which I have not talked about, but Tenuto is a good one. If you don't know about Tenuto, this is Tenuto. Tenuto is nothing but games. They got staff identification, staff construction, keyboard identification. They only got 4 things for the fretboard, so I use this a lot for fretboard note identification to allow myself to get quicker with this. So as soon as I see something like this, I automatically know what it is. As soon as I see that, it's not so automatic. I need to do it with intervals more, because usually I just do note identification. I don't really do fret major, nor do I do chords. But chords is exactly what I was just doing on the other app. So on Oolimo. So with that being said, I find myself often getting bored with social media, and I challenge myself to do music theory stuff. which some people might find boring, but I find fascinating, especially when I get things wrong or when I challenge myself to actually learn more. And if you are investing in yourself, as my shirt says, shout out to Zach Riddle, the guy who made the shirt. If you are investing in yourself, especially in your craft, like if you truly love this guitar stuff or this music stuff, you should find the platforms that truly teach you how to apply, or not even apply, how to make sense of the knowledge aspect of it. And then the ones that challenge you to practice the knowledge aspect of it, whether it be in the form of a quiz or, I don't know, like flashcards or something of that nature. And then apply the knowledge as you are playing and learning songs. It'll just help you learn songs quicker. So get to it, get to it, get to it. Anyway, though, it has been a blast. If you've been watching this, I appreciate you so much for investing in yourself. And I appreciate you for giving me the watch hours that I could use. Anyway, though, enjoy the rest of your night. Peace out.